Hello everyone. Um, this is Nitesh from Geeks for Geeks, and we are going to do a session about the roadmap to go ahead with learning test automation. Okay. We'll talk about some other things as well. Let's wait for 1 or 2 more minutes. We'll start then. But till then, let me share my screen and confirm if you are able to see that. I will share first a particular slide. You guys are able to see that, I think. Okay. We'll talk about like the whole game plan about learning part, right? Let's wait for 1 more minute. We are still waiting for some more aspirants to join. We'll start then quickly. Be here. Stay tuned. I welcome all of you. Today we are going to talk about the journey, the whole journey which we are going to start about learning about test automation. So in that journey, there will be a lot of things which we will do. Okay. So we are going to talk about all those things. I'll take your queries also in between. If you have any question, you can put it in chat window here. And at the end also, we'll do a proper Q&A session. So we have good amount of time to talk about the course, how it will go ahead, right? What you have to do, how much attentive you have to be, right? So we'll talk about all those things. I am waiting for some more aspirants here, then I'll start quickly.
Hello,
Till then,
Nitesh.
yes.
There are 20 people's lives on YouTube, so
Okay.
maybe their number is not visible here.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Just a minute. Then we'll go ahead. No issue. Hold on. Okay. So let's jump into what we are going to do and how if you want to learn about test automation properly, right? Irrespective of whether you are as of now like a final year student or pre-final year student, or you are a working professional into testing field, or you are working more on the manual testing side, right? These will be the roadmap which we will talk about, and it's very logical and systematic learning path which we have to follow. So I'll be with you on this journey. Let's start with this. I'm going starting with this PPT, but going ahead, we will talk about the whole course also, how we will do, what kind of challenges will be there, how we will, do different practicals, live project and all. Okay. So as I said that we are expecting that and we are assuming that our audiences, this type of audience we have, maybe either like freshers or the test engineers or the professionals or newcomers into the IT field. It's like this. Maybe somebody may be working on some non-IT field and they want to find jobs in IT. For them also, it will be a good thing to learn test automation. Okay, fine. Approach. So our approach will be more on the practical oriented. It will be a logical sequence of completing something, right? And there will be trial and error from your end, right? Whoever is learning it, be ready for doing the practicals. There will be errors. That's fine. You have to overcome that, right? So troubleshooting is one more important aspects here, right? When you will become test automation engineer on daily basis, you will get a lot of things to resolve, right? Especially on the technical front, especially on the coding side, you have to resolve it, right? So in the same way, you have to build a habit here. When you are doing the practicals, there may be errors. So come what may, you have to resolve it, right? So we'll talk about how to do these things, debugging and all, right? And our approach will be more on engaging side. So it's not just one way, session delivery where I'll talk about something, I will do all the practicals on my system and you have to see it. It's not like that. So we are expecting that whatever the trainer or the mentor is doing in his or her system, right? It's better you will also do the same thing on your system as well, so that there will be a quick validation about the things are working fine or not. Do you have any question about it, right? So we will have good amount of time to exchange the code, understand how it is working or not working, how to resolve it, right? And moreover, it is not just about the coding part, right? So there are concepts, how that works, what kind of interview questions are related to a particular concepts or the topic, that also we will discuss. Okay. What we need, what we need if we want to, pursue the whole course going ahead in the next, let's say, 70 or 75 days. So positive thinking, you have to be very attentive. You should be ready to experiment. You should be ready to research about the topics. Not much on the research side, because most of the material, most of the things will be delivered online at live session itself. Okay. So what is the game plan? So I'm not saying it's a learning plan. Let's take it as a game challenge that you have to complete, right? But let's understand becoming an SDET, right? Which is more in demand nowadays, or they say full stack QA, right? So let's understand first of all that what is full stack QA when we say, right? Or SDET engineers, what is the expectation? So to understand that, you have to understand how the web application works, let's say, or any application works, right? So generally you have user interfaces, correct, where you interact. So you have UI part. I'm writing in shortcut UI, user interface, correct? You interact with the user as a user, correct? And there are middle layers, right? So we say, let's say the API layer or business layer, correct? Or a web server, right? So there are servers, correct? Then generally in a simple client server architecture, what happens is there are database also, right? I'll give you a simple example also what I'm talking about here, right? So for example, let's say there is a website. Let's say there is one website, this particular website, and here there is a login page, and you provide your user ID and password, and you click on the login, correct? And it shows you invalid login, try again. This kind of message it's showing me because maybe the combination of user ID and password is not valid. It's not matching. They are not the valid user to go ahead with this website. What happens in the background? What is happening in the background? Let's understand. This is user interface, correct? So in the picture, what I'm saying is you are interacting with the user interface, correct? And then you are basically whatever you do as an action, it goes to the middle layer. It goes to the business layer or the servers as a request, as some kind of request. Okay, fine. Some kind of request is going. Then here, basically, if you think logically, this user ID and password, they are checking it that this is present in their database or not. Then only it will say whether it is valid user or not. If the user is present in their database, they will say, okay, go ahead, show the next screen, something like that. So again, these APIs are, you know, are are querying. It's doing some kind of query to database, right? So I'm not going into technicality part of it, like how they send the query and all. But through APIs or REST APIs, if you heard about it, it directly connects to the database, correct? And the response will come. So here, when you are interacting with the UI, basically, let's understand that you are passing user ID and password, right? I am writing PWD in shortcut, user ID and password from the UI you are passing it. Then again in the API layer, probably it's like there is some function written there, is valid, something like that. Is valid user. So is valid will be a function where this user ID and password is again passed, right? Then it is getting converted in the query, and from the database, it will come back like, okay, this is there or not. So probably some kind of query response will come, and maybe it will send you the error that how many rows are present, whether that user is present or not, right? Those things. So probably here query response will come, right? Response of the query will come, correct? Here, once it will reach to the API, again it will go ahead and it will come back to the UI layer, right? Where it will say, okay, there is error. With this example, let's assume that this user is not present in the database. So it will show you some error message. Okay. But let's understand. UI layer, till the time it reaches to the UI layer, you are showing everything in HTML. You are showing everything in HTML format or CSS or some part of JavaScript. If you will see here, view page source, everything what you see in any web page are written in the form of HTML language only, okay, or some CSS and JavaScript. basically, why we use HTML? HTML is to create the elements. Like here, there is a login uh, link. There is a login button here. There is a text box, correct? There is this link, forgot password. All the content is created by HTML. Then what is CSS? CSS is to give the style or look and feel like, okay, the background color of this login button should be blue. The foreground color should be white text. What should be the font size? What should be the font style? All those things are decided by the CSS properties and some JavaScript, right? So client side JavaScript thing is there. I'm not going into that part as of now, but let's understand technically what is there. UI side, HTML, CSS, and JS is used. Okay. Middle layer generally it's like, it's written in, let's say, Java, C sharp. You must have heard about .NET or Python, right? Or maybe different programming languages will be there to handle the middle layer part. Database is actually some kind of database management system. So for example, let's say Oracle or PostgreSQL, right? I cannot write everything here, but something like this. Okay, fine. Now let's understand the role of test engineer here. When you are doing testing at the UI side, you generally do what? Functional testing. You do UI testing, correct? You can do manual checks. What you do? You do functional check or non-functional check, any kind of check you are doing. At API layer, what you do? You do API testing, correct? What you perform? API testing. At database layer, what you perform? You perform DB testing. So basically, if you want to become a better DB test engineer, then you have to be good on the query side. Now, I'm coming to the main point now. So when you're saying you want to become a full stack QA, right, or the SDET professional, right, you should be good on touching all these layers. Okay, so see, manual testing concept, overall testing concept, one has to be good on that part. There is no doubt. You have to be able to understand how many scenarios you can create, how to communicate with your peers, your subordinates, your managers, leaders, client team. That is very important. But from the technical aspects, right, you have to touch all the layers. If you, I'm not saying you have to do it. The thing is, you should know it as a test engineer. It's like this. So UI layer, generally, what sort of test automation tools we have? We have, let's say, if you have heard about more on this side, there are Selenium, correct? Selenium test automation, Cypress, Playwright, UFT. There are hundreds of tools or APIs available to do UI automation. Okay. And API layer, you generally must have heard about Postman, SOAP UI for the manual checks. You may have heard about Rest Assured for the automation side on the API part. Generally in database, it's like you write complex queries, right, to test it. And there are tools, ETL tools, let's say, which will check properly on the database side, everything is working fine or not. So now coming to the part of like SDET. So it's a journey. It's not like that within 1 month, 2 months, somebody will touch all these things and they will become a better SDET or full stack QA. There is a proper game plan. As of now, with our course, I'm just going to talk about the UI automation part. Okay. So this particular course touches the main the aspect of how we are doing the UI test automation. Let's understand how we are going to learn and all. So basically, in initial days, we will help you to understand the importance of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. We'll give you the proper training on how to learn this thing. Basically, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript is not part of the main course, but this is basic thing which you can learn on your own. We are here to guide you from where you have to learn, what kind of practice you have to do. That will do it from the next week when we will start it properly. Today we are understanding that what is our roadmap. Then Java is like, so let's understand why we are learning HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, basic part of it, to understand how user interface works. Then we will learn Java to understand about the whole programming thing, because you have to program your test case automation. You have to program, when to execute it. You have to program about everything. When you are working on the Selenium, you should know about how Java works, right? How to make the programs, what is classes, object. There are object oriented concept, exception handling. I'll go through the main our whole syllabus also. Wait for 5 minutes. Then we will learn Selenium in detail about how to perform from very scratch, very basic, about the first program to open a browser, and then going ahead with doing multiple different actions on the page, right? So that we'll try to cover you know different test cases, which is written it, let's say manual test cases, to the automation one. We'll create the framework. We'll understand about how you connect with to the external database, how to you extract the data from some external data, let's say Excel sheet, and use it on your own uh, test case, right? So then we will do BDD testing approach using Cucumber. It's again another layer. Once you learn the Selenium, there is another layer over that is Cucumber, to perform BDD driven testing. And then we will do Git Git and Jenkins, which is required to manage your source code, manage your whole framework, systematic execution of your test cases, grouping of your test cases, like smoke test cases, regression test suite. There may be difference. So how you will execute it. It's like this. Okay. But let's understand that how much time generally it takes if you follow a proper roadmap, how you can become, when you can say, hey, I'm now actually good with this, right? With a lot of practice. So HTML, CSS, JavaScript, generally it takes 15 days. I'm talking about basic thing, a very basic thing where at least you will be in a position to create at least this kind of simple website or simple web page, where you will be able to create a form, text box, login button, some links, right? So basic thing about HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, it takes, let's say, 15 days. I am not talking about the course here, right? I'm talking about the effort. If somebody want to become um, SDET, or full stack QA, or test automation engineer, this much time somebody has to invest. That I'm saying. Okay. Java 60 days. I've written 60 days because at least basic part, at least the things which is necessary, at least to start with the Selenium, 60 days around. But that doesn't mean that if in 10 days or next 3 weeks, if you'll complete the Java, you will not go ahead with the Selenium. It's not like that. Right? What I'm saying is, this is the minimum number of days you have to work on your own to learn Java, right? Selenium, If you want to become a good Selenium test automation engineer, it will take 1 year. So here we are not doing any false claim that, you know, like any course you do it and you will become a pro. It doesn't work in real life, in practical world. It's like you have to keep on practicing the thing. What we will be doing here will give you proper guidance. We are here to mentor you. We are here to tell you like what kind of problem can come, how to resolve it, right? What are the basic code structure, those things. BDD Cucumber testing, 60 days around. Again, it takes, let's say Git and Jenkins, if you will, do a proper practice, it takes around 30 days. So this is the basic structure. Our course structure is like, let's say 10 weeks, 10 to 11 weeks max, right? But this picture is important to understand that, okay, this is my goal as an aspirant, as a student of testing, right? This should be my goal to learn the things systematically one by one. What is the homework for today? So you just have to get ready, right? To challenge yourself, to learn something, spend time in the disciplined way, and you should have attitude about automate anything, right? So whenever you see any website, right, you should say, I can automate it. Automate it means with writing some test script, I should be able to perform some steps which you can do manually also. So I can automate it. It's like this. Right? So that attitude is required. I am going to the course again. Give me 1 minute. So if you go to the website here, you can open it at your end also, geeksforgeeks.org, courses. In the courses, if you'll go, you will be able to see the courses. Then there is a search icon. You can search Selenium testing, right? Once you will search it, you will be able to see complete guide to software testing automation. This particular website you will reach into. Okay. I am giving you in chat window also. I'm giving. You can go through that. Most of you maybe already have seen it, but let's see it here that week one. Week one will be introduction to software testing and Java basic, where we will understand about very first program about Java installation. We'll start from very basic conditional statements, arrays, looping concept. These are very important. Okay, don't skip these things. Session number 2 will be more on functions, class and object concept. Object-oriented concepts are there, exception handling, and those things, right? Week 2 will be on Selenium side. Okay, now the thing is, see, we are saying that we are covering this thing, Java part, right? But that doesn't mean your learning about Java should stop here, right? We'll give you a lot of material. We'll tell you there are tutorials available already, free tutorials available in Geeks for Geeks forums, right? There are tutorials. We'll tell you that complete these many chapters, right? Or we'll give you assignment, at least complete these chapters, go through that, do more practicals on it, come with your queries. There will be teaching assistants. So whenever you are facing any issue, there will be extra sessions about resolving your issues. Okay. Then Selenium part will go, but parallelly we will understand some more Java concepts also. Right? It's not like that week 2 Selenium will start, so we'll not talk about the Java. The thing is, we'll continuously will talk about Java and their examples, because That is the like a backbone. That is the very, what we say, basic building block if you want to learning Selenium with Java programming. So Java programming is important. Page elements, locator techniques, we will see. If you have any question regarding what I am scrolling through here and showing you the topics, right, you can put it in chat window. You can simply put that in chat window. We'll talk about TestNG framework. That is very important. We will do the things in very detail. We will talk about weight mechanism in Selenium, and we will be using the latest version of Selenium 4.11 as of now. Um, we'll be working with probably the latest version of Java also. So we are expecting that your system should be capable enough if you're doing it through laptop or desktop. 4 GB RAM is required, you know. Hard disk is fine. Everyone has, nowadays like 100 GB is very, very much common, right? So more than 100 GB is already there, right? That's it. Good internet connectivity should be there. Rest of the like installation and all, we are going to talk on the very first session itself next week. Okay. We'll talk about advanced Selenium concepts, pop-up handling, different window handling, tabs handling, iframe, those things. The Mavenize project, right? We'll talk about those things. Then will create a proper framework to follow page object uh, design patterns. Okay. Then we will have about exception handling, reporting mechanism. Okay, fine. Week 4 is completed. Week 5 will be more on parallel execution so that you can execute your test case in less amount of time, right? So we'll understand about how to execute multiple test cases parallelly, how to execute test cases in different browsers, data driven testing we'll understand. Then we will do Cucumber. So that is the BDD way of doing testing. Okay, so we'll understand about Gherkin um, pattern to write the requirements, to write the test steps, step definition, how to generate the reports. Then we will do integration of your whole code into GitHub and the Jenkins. That is very important, right? This is like very important because you want to execute your test cases with minimum or no human intervention. That will be called pure automation, right? Then we'll continue more on side like how you can execute your test cases in cloud. So there are new age mechanism to execute your test cases in different combination of browser plus operating system or the devices. So SaaS Lab or Browser Stack, one of that we will use, and we'll understand how you integrate your Selenium test cases to SaaS Labs or Browser Stack. Okay. There will be a proper project ERP system which we will automate. And by the end of this course, you can update your resume that, okay, you understand how ERP system works, eh, and the automation part of it. It's like this. So and ERP is enterprise resource planning, which is generally very huge, what we say, software which has a lot of different modules related to selling the item, let's say, or managing the HR process, right? Or account, or the item, or the product, customer management. A lot of things are there in ERP system. So we'll be touching some of the modules and we will automate it, right? So that you will get a real, what we say, hands-on how automation happens in the company like this. And now the interesting thing will come about mobile app testing. So we will learn about how to perform mobile testing. We'll do some theoretical part also. That is also important. What kind of test we perform, how it is different from UI automation. Okay, we'll do that thing. And then we'll properly understand about FPM. So we will do mobile test automation using FPM libraries. Okay, that's it. And at the end, we will do some exercises. We will have some feedback mechanism also, like how we are doing it, right? We'll do some interview preparation guidance also. See, these are like formal things like till week 10. But after that also, we'll do some sessions for you about interview preparation and all. Okay. So that's it from my side. Um, but I would like to hear from all of you. If you have any queries here, you can simply unmute and ask. So here I'll allow you to unmute and you can ask now. We are doing in Zoom also, so that's why I'm using the word unmute here. Great. Yes, guys, you are free to ask anything if you have any query. Somebody has asked that, is there any course which is dedicated to SDET who want to work, let's say, for MAANG, so MANG we say, right? Like Meta, Amazon, Google, those kind of companies, if you want to work, there are roles related to test automation engineer or SDET. Let's understand. Let's understand that thing. Okay. So any company who want a test engineer or the test automation engineer, right? The very basic thing is whether you are passionate about testing or not. That is the first thing they will check. You have analytical ability or not. That they will check. It's not like that for the FANG or MANG, those kind of companies. You have to prepare in some different way, very different way. It's not like that. You have to continuously upskill yourself practically to understand how different things works, right? We surely have some kind of blogs available here which will tell you that, okay, what more emphasis you have to do on something, right? To go through on some particular company's interview, right? So let's understand, as far as SDET role is concerned, you have to understand. I'm going back to that diagram again. That if you are doing UI automation, you know how it works. If you know how API works, how API test automation works, and you should be able to, means, just not like knowing it, you have to perform it, you have to do it, right? Then if you know how database side the things works, you are able to write complex queries, right? These are the basic thing if you want to become test automation engineer, in a good way. So these things at least you should complete first. Now, different companies have different approach for the hiring part, right? So some companies are more concerned about whether programming in detail, data structures in detail, right? That is common for the developer and the test engineer both. But if you have passion about testing, if you have you understand that testing can be done at different layers by doing different things. Let's say security testing. If you know those things, that will be helpful in your career. If you know accessibility testing, that will be very helpful going ahead. It's like this. Somebody has asked, can you tell me a website to know the step to be a data developer? I am not able to answer this question as of now. Yes. Yes, somebody was asking something. Please go ahead.
Hi, am I audible?
Yes, yes, go ahead.
I just wanted to ask that, for example, you have started taking classes from the next week, and
Yeah.
you have given us some assignment, and due to some reasons, if I'm blocked in something, what is the platform where I could interact with you, or is how would I be able to reach you at that particular moment? Because if I'm not able to move forward, so I'll be blocked.
Good question. Great. So as I said that there will be teaching assistants, right? So from there, you will get the help. You are going to be added on Discord channel. Okay. So Discord is one such app, let's say messaging app, where you have channels, right? So we also have channels related to, let's say, our SDET course, right? So there you will be able to ask question, and it's good. It will be very transparent. Whatever question you have, if somebody else is also facing it, we will be able to resolve it. It's like this. Either through the channel, it will be resolved then and there, or if a particular session is required, so we'll arrange those sessions to resolve some queries from different students. It's like this.
Okay, got it. Thanks.
So thanks for reminding me this. Basically, there will be a Discord channel which will have some. It will look like this. Uh, Once you will register and everything, our team will send you the invitation to come to the Discord, and there will be proper discussion about what is happening, homework, challenges, everything, solutions. Fine. What else? I am here to resolve any query, anything if you have. If you want to ask anything about whatever we discussed today, going ahead, how you have to prepare yourself, anything. Or if you're facing any issue as of now, if you're doing self learning. It's clear to everyone. And we will doing it's not like initially it will be a bit slow. Okay, because we want to make sure that everyone at least able to install everything, whatever is required. They are able to set up the things, they're able to write the programs. But once you will reach week 2, week 3, week 4, you have to develop, you know, kind of interest where you'll be able to do something in a faster way, right? So that's why we need like attentive people here. Whatever I will be doing on my system, right? Be ready to do on your system also, right? You will hear me, you will do on your system also. I'll give you proper time to do that. Don't worry.
Yeah, that would be great because that is what we wanted
Yeah,
actually. Because by listening to the YouTube channel and all those things, that is not going to help us. We really
correct,
want to do the things hand in hand so that
correct,
we resolve the issues. Yeah, thanks.
correct. We understand that thing very well, that what kind of problem a student can face for this particular course, right? So we understand that thing. So we have very systematic approach of delivering the session. Don't worry about it. Fine. Shubham, Rahul, Vicky, Raghavendra, Lakshmi, Pallavi, Devashish, Ayush. Any question here? I'm able to see your names. You can unmute and ask if you have any.
Yeah, I'm very much clear with it. Because,
Clear with that?
yeah,
Okay. And I'm expecting everyone that at least put, if you don't have any question, put it in chat window that no queries as of now, something like that. If you don't have any queries, if you have queries, I encourage you to ask. Yeah, Okay. We are here for next, let's say 5 to 10 minutes more. So somebody has asked about what is the number one focus when handling memory errors? Do they have any relation with parsing and binding errors too? A bit of a technical question, which is not related to our topic as of now. But let's understand these memory errors generally comes when there may be 2 to 3 different reason. One of the reason is when you're using a lot of variables and you are not using it, you are allocating a lot of memories to them using a loop, let's say, but then you're not using it, right? So that may create problem. Or even if you're using it, you are going uh, ahead of, let's say, whatever is the pool size allocated to you. So let's understand, whenever you execute any program, generally, it it is already allocated that, okay, this much memory will be available to you. It's like this for execution. Okay. So if something is disturbing that part, then memory related error can come. Will API and database testing covered in this course? Somebody is asking. No. API testing is not part of this course. And the database side also, that is not the part of this course. If I go ahead with this is the part of this course. More on the UI automation. Okay, more on the UI automation side. Maybe in future we will be having separate API course. We don't want to, add multiple things into a single course. That will actually be very, it will create confusion. That will create a lot of confusion. So one thing at a time, do it like one thing at a time, be master on it, then learn new thing. It's like this. Okay, I am resuming recording. So we talked about some of the questions here, that whether API testing is and the database testing will be part of this course or not. No, it will not be part of this. This course will include this, okay, which is mainly required for UI automation side, completing a cycle of doing everything on the UI side or UI functional testing side. Okay. And I saw one more questions which was related to memory and all, right? That is not relevant as of now with what we are doing here. But yeah, we will be having a Discord channel. There you will see all the communication, right, about course and everything, right? You'll be part of some kind of group here. So you will be getting a proper invitation from our side to join this, and the things will be there, right? All the messages, all the queries, solution, everything. That's it, I think. My host Jagriti is here. So let me know if we can stop it now, or do we want to inform something to the students here?
Yeah, we
Or
can
the
end this
aspirants?
session.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you, everyone. I'm stopping it here. Let's meet. And I would encourage whatever queries you have, you ask again on the GFG forum again and enroll to this course. That will be better. Fine. Great. Thank you, guys. Stopping it here. Bye.
Thanks, Nitish. Thanks, everyone.